So good afternoon everyone. Welcome to the Google Developers Student Club's iDevIt. No? So learn with coding. So our topic for today is all about C programming or the introduction to C. So yeah, when we say C, no, familiar po mo sa C++ and the C sharp. But for today, we will tackle the C programming, C only. Yeah. By the way, my name is Jaranilla, the Information Technology Lead of the Google Developer Student Club USTP. And I am a freshman, now taking up a course of Information Technology. So yeah, if you are wondering nganong C man, daghan man mas tiyada nga programming languages, natay Python, natay Ruby, natay Java, no? Daghan pag mas better daw kuno kang C. But the reason why we chose this kind of programming language is that C programming is the basic foundation. No, if you will ask our seniors, no, they will say nga pag makabalo daw ka sa C, dali daw nimo matunan ang other programming languages. Okay? So, yeah, let's start. So our objectives for today is to learn and to set up IDE or the Integrated Development Environment. Next is the Git and GitHub, no, their differences. And of course, yeah, I think nakahadog na po mo aning Git and GitHub. The third one is to run our hello world, no? If you are a programmer or naka-program na ka, imo yung pinakauna yun nga kuanan is the hello world. To print hello world, no? Next is the variables, how to assign and to print variables. I mean, using variables. Next is the variable data types and input values to variables. Make a one functional calculator. So, simple calculator lang ni siya para natay output pod sa atuang variable. Next is the arrays or are the arrays, how to declare and output using the arrays. And of course, to create an average calculator. So, na siya complex gamay, pero yeah, calculator lang gihapon siya. So, I would like to start this session with the quote, programming is not about memorizing. It is about understanding. No? If makawali mo, copy king IT kay daghan kaayo kag memorize nga codes, daghan kay kag memorize nga syntax, no? No, it's not that, no. Programming is not about we need to memorize everything, no, in order for us to run a program. What we need is that to understand what will be the output of our program or what are the process for our program. Because if you do not know what are the process and what your program looks like, no, even though kabalo ka sa ka-memorize ka sa tanan pero wala ka kabalo sa imo ang i-output, wala gyapon, wala silbi. No, so it's better to understand your program than memorize all about the codes. So again, programming is not about memorizing, it is about understanding. Okay? So first is what is IDE, no? IDE is the Integrated Development Environment. So simply this is where you code, no? Where you type the codes, where you type the syntaxes, no? So it is a software, no? So of course software siya. And there are three IDEs nga kung i-example karon, which is Visual Studio, Eclipse, and Codeblock. So Visual Studio is very rampant, no? Gamit kaayo siya sa tanan kay mostly sa mga programming languages mo support si Visual Studio, no? So if you want to have a complete package na gyud, no, mas accessible gyud si Visual Studio. Next is the Eclipse. So when we say C programming, dedicated gyud si Eclipse for C alone, okay? I mean, maka-support gyapon siya another programming languages, pero iya yung focus is si C. Okay, that is Eclipse. Next is the code blocks. Of course, ga-support gyapon si code blocks og C and C++ and other programming languages, but the main difference here is that Visual Studio and Eclipse requires a high-end processor, no, para dali niya dali niya ma-run ang code, ma-run ang program. While on the other hand is si code block, ano siya, mas gamay siya file, mas gamay siya kumpara sa Visual Studio and Eclipse nga may bugat siya gamay. Okay? Mas bugat siya size and require po siya kuan. So if you have a high-end PC, so install Visual Studio or Eclipse. But if you have low-end kuan lang, so code blocks. So for today, we will gonna make code blocks as an example of our IDE. So okay. So wait, have you heard Git and GitHub? No, maybe most of you, especially sa nakaagi nag-programming, kay nanay background or nakadungog na ani. But siguro some of you wala pa kadungog unsa ng Git and GitHub. Okay, so Git is a version control system. Now it is a software for tracking changes in any set of files, usually used for coordinating works each other out. Okay. So, yan na lang. So, si Git is more like siya mo'y mag-compile sa mga versions, sa different versions, sa imo ang mga files, no? Unlike siguro like, for example, maghimo kag Word, di ba, sa research ninyo, di ba, imo ang i-rename kay research final. Research final na good. Research final na ni last na ni promise ana, so that docs dadan kay kag mga files, no, kay because you do not want to delete the previous one because basig makaingon ka nga ana basig magamit pa ni nako. So that is the purpose of Git. Imbes nga mag-create kag multiple files sa imong program, si Git na mo'y bahala to restore it into the previous one. Okay, para dili na kay hassle sa imong nga part. No, again, Git is a software, okay? What makes Git special is that it has a repository, okay? So repository is a central file storage location and used by version control systems to store multiple versions of files. So mao na ni siya, tanan version sa imong files is naana kang Git, naana kang repository. So si Git naa siya repository where dira niya ipang store ang imong mga different versions sa imong file sa imong program, no? And si Git na rin may bahala to bring back, no? To bring back kuan. So repository is just a storage location while si Git na rin mo itig process na dayon sa pagbalik sa imong file or to store it to another version, okay? So, on the other hand, GitHub is a Git repository hosting service. So, it is a web-based interface that uses Git. So, GitHub cannot run without Git. Yeah, that's the fact. No, if you will read the definition, maglibog na mo. But, siguro, think of it like Word and Google Docs. Think of this Word as your local repository. So, sa Word, di ba, dili man mo siya ma-share. So, sa imo arang siyang computer. So, yeah, that will happen. Mag-type ka sa Word and that's it. Dili na mo siya ma-share unless na kung i-upload mo. So, this will go to the Google Docs mo or mo siya si GitHub. No? Pag if i-upload mo si Microsoft Word through the internet, no, and mukha din siya kang Google Docs. So, dili na din pwede na siya ma-edit, no, ma-collaborate with others. So, mo siya nga si GitHub is where pwede siya ma-edit sa lain, no, and of course maka-work pod ang other people at the same time, no. So, how GitHub works, or Git also, no. So, if ever nga si classmate 1 and si classmate 2 na grupo lugar and they wanted to make a program kay assignment daw kuno sa teacher. But the problem here is dabig layog balay si classmate 1 ug si classmate 2 and dili man sila makita nga mag-run ang program. Sample lugar, si classmate 1 na lugar may mag-run tapos magtudlo-tudlo lang si classmate 2. No, the purpose of Git is to have a software or to have an application para kamong duha mag-edit sa program and mag-run sa program at the same time. So, makita ninyong changes, matrack ninyong changes. So, pinaagi sa inyong repository, local repository, naa si Git para siya may mag-signal kang GitHub, no? Siya may mag-store sa inyong mga files, sa inyong mga versions para ikuan niya kang GitHub and si GitHub na dayon may bahala or di na din mo kang GitHub mag-code, okay? Di na din mo kang GitHub mag-work na dayon. So di na mo mag-edit, di na mo mag-program, di na mo mag-run. So the difference of Git and GitHub is Git is a software while GitHub is a service. So Git is installed locally on the system and GitHub is hosted on the web. So i-install yun mo siya si Git and si GitHub is lang siya sa web. And Git is a command line tool and GitHub provides a graphical interface. So yeah, it is a tool to manage different versions while si GitHub is space to upload a copy of a Git repository. Next is it provides functionalities like version control system, source code management. Okay? And it provides functionalities like Git, like VCS. So, naay mga functions si Git na ang mag-service or ang mag-run kay si GitHub, no? So, again, dili mo run si GitHub kung wala si Git. Okay? The importance of this is especially karong online class, no? This online class really made us, no, na magbulag sa itong mga classmate. And if we will going into the face-to-face scenario, nagito sa ComLab, no, mag-edit kay para kitang tanan mga classmates or kitang groupmates mag-edit tara na. But the thing here is lagyo na magutag balay. So through Git and GitHub, pwede gyapon mo maka-code, no, nga kamo at the same time, no, without moadto na sa lagyo or moadto na sa inyong classmate para lang magsabot yun mong duha. Okay? So you can work it out through GitHub. Okay? Yeah. So installing IDE. So yeah, now we will install the code blocks. So installing the code blocks is very easy. You just need to type code blocks. Yes. So kaning pinaka na codeblocks.org. So you'll just click that and click here the downloads. And yeah, download the source code rather. Okay. So, pilion lang ninyo ni siya, no? So, FOSSHub ba mo or unsa. So, it depends on you kung FOSSHub ba or sourceforge.net. So, I'm just gonna choose FOSSHub. And also, I recommend you to download this CodeBlock 64-bit including the compiler. Now, this 145. Okay, so after downloading the code blocks, mo na din siya main W setup. Okay. So you're just gonna click that, no? Next. I agree. Next. Install. So I will not gonna install it because nanakoy code blocks daan sa ko ang PC. So yeah, so here it is, the code blocks. So let's naka-install na ta sa tong IDE. And what we will have to do is to print hello world. Okay? So kani ang syntax, no? Kaning blue. Printf hello world -n. So you will know about that later. And yeah, and kaning semicolon. I mean, yeah. It's a colon, I guess. So include studio to. So naani siya sa ibabaw later, no? To make use of this printf and scanf library functions in C language. Printf function is used to print the character string float integer, and we will tackle that later. Okay, so we are now here in the code blocks. So what you will have to do is to create a new project. Just click this console application, then go, click next. So please make a selection daw kuno, it's either C or C++. So we will use the C programming. So let's say hello world. So I'll just gonna direct it now to hello. Yeah. So you just click finish, no? GNU CC compiler. So I will not gonna tackle about the UI of the code blocks. I know that it's very kanang marag old siya tanawon, pero yeah, And that's how code blocks work. That's how code blocks work. So all you have to remember is this three, no? Build, run, build, and run. So when you say build, i-compile lang niya imong program. While si run is i-run niya imong program. While si build and run is both, no? I-build niya imong program, i-compile niya imong program, and i-run po niya automatic. So, yeah, wala tayong nakita, diba, no? Blanco. So, you will have just to click the sources, no? Sa under the sources, click this main C, double click, okay? Okay. So, I'm just gonna zoom in. Here it is, guys. Print hello world. Automatic na siya. So, if mga tanong mo sa ibabaw, include studio.h, sa man siya. So, I know nga mangutanag yun mo, it is because even I myself, no, when I first encountered programming, nakapangutanag yun ko, unsa yun yung nasa ibabaw. So, this ibabaw includes studio.h, includes studio library.h, to make use of this printf and scanf library function. So, kaning printf, dili mag-run if wala si studio, okay? Studio.h and si studio library, si scanf library, okay? So, dili sila mag-run, dili nila mabasa, no, kung unsay mo i-output. So, next is the printf function is used to print the character, string, float, integer, octal, and hexadex. So, these are the variables, no? We will tackle that later. So, hello world. So, automatic na siya. Hello world na. So, build and run. So, that's it. Hello world. Yan lang kadali ang C program. Bitaw, guys. If you will wonder, return, kanina si return is, mo na siyang si hudyat, no, nga, humana ang imong program. There mag-end ang imong program. So, if you're asking, anong na si dash n, mo na siyang space para kani si number 6 nga line, basahon dayon niya si number 7 nga line. So, mag na siya space, ana, okay. So, what about, we will rename this Welcome to the Google Developers Students Club. Okay, that's it, no? And if we will run this, that's it. Welcome to the Google Developers Student Club. So, if kaniya ko siya i-copy, hi, I am Devi, because Devi is our mascot. So, yeah, you will just have to close this and click run. Welcome to the Google Developers Student Club. So, hi, I am Devi. So, if, mungutan na ka, what if wala ako ni si letter N? Okay, wala ako ni si letter N. So, build and run. That's it. Welcome. So, nawala ang space, no? Nawala ang space niya. So, that's how important /n works. Okay. So, ibalik na ko si /n para sada siya tanawon. So, yeah. Welcome to the Google Developer Students Club. Hi, I am Devi. So, that is how you print the hello world in C program. Okay. Next one is the variables. Okay. So, variables are used to store up some kind of data for later use. So, just like in mathematics, no, variables x, y, z, no, meron siya letter nga ga-store up siya og some kind of data. So, bali, example, Google Developers Club. So, taas kayo, kapuyan kag type. So, imo na lang siya ibutang as letter G. Okay? So, yan na siya, G. Yeah. Letter G is equals to Google Developers Student Club. So, yan na. So, let's find out. So, before that, there are data types, no, para sa mga variables. So, these are the default ones, no? String, char or character, bool or boolean, int or integer, float, double, and napay uban ani. But these are just the basics. So, string, pwede ka mag-store og sentences or phrases. While character is one letter, no? Boolean is true or false, no? And integer is a positive and negative numbers, while si float is less precise, decimals, No, murag na siya decimal pero gamay na siya nga decimal nga ma-support. And si double is mas dagan siya decimal nga ma-support. Okay. So just like this, gagamit kog string which is pwede character string. So pwede na ko siya mabutngan og mo siya mga syntax guys sa syntax na sila. So pwede na ko siya mabutngan og Google Developer Student Club. So yeah, kay again, si string is mabot nga siya phrases, sentences. While si character lang is letter. And then, letter G. Si integer is number, no? Positive and negative. Si float is less precise decimals. And si double is mas daghan siya decimals nga ma-support. So, float can support at least 6 to 7, no, 6 to 7 decimal points, while si double is mas daghan pa ana. So let's say just like this program, my name is SNSTR. So unsa man ni siya? So if you are wondering na may %S, %C. Now, these are what we called format specifiers. So, mo ni siya ang mga default sa C, no, para tawgon silang variables. I mean, si data types, okay? Para tawgon si data types, mo ni siya ang ato ang gamiton ng mga format specifiers. So, just like this, no, ang data type ni integer is DI, si character is C, si float is F, double is LF, short it, so mo na siya, no, ang mga format specifier. So you don't need to memorize that, no, just kuan lang yun, just remember it, just remember kay dili man po siya kay character C, float F, so mo man po siya ang mga kinahanglan kaayo, no. Example lang siguro ni int, I mean si pero ang gagamiton jud kang int is D, no. So yeah, so here my name is %S string. So that is how you call the string. So gitawag na ko diri si Google Developers Club, which is si string, and ikuan po rin to siya unsa siya nga variable, no. So gibutang na ko si string as str, the same as si %C, which is si character, gitawag na ko letter ako ang gi-variable sa iya. While si integer is just age, ginganan ako siya, so 2, okay. Ako ang gi-variable sa iya is age, so mo ni siya mga si mango akong gi-variable kang float, si PD gi-variable na ako kang double, okay. So again, wala na ako gikalimtan si /n kay para dili siya magsumpay-sumpay tanan. Okay. So if we will gonna run this program, that's it. The output will be my name is Google Developers Students Club. My favorite letter is G. No? I am 2 years old. It is true that I am the newest club in USTP CDO. The value of pi is 3.14. The real value of pi is 3.141593. So, i-exan ako ni. So, if mga na ka, di ba, anak ka nga 6 to 7 values ang masupport ni float? Nganong duha raman to? Okay. So, I put that 2 so that it will determine nga duha ra siya taman ka decimal point. Pero pwede magyapon, no? Pwede gyapon nato siya tawgon, no? 6 to 7 decimal. So, just like this. Okay. 3.14. Okay? So, taman siya sa 6. Okay? 6 ka decimal point. Pero nag-0, 0 na din siya. Kaya ang atong magibutang is the value of mango, the value of float, which is the value of mango, no, is 3.14. So, musumpay na rin itong mga 0. Okay? So, yeah. That's how variables would look like, no. More lang gitawag nimo siya ba sa ilang lahi nga pangalan. So that is variable, no. Di ba kung mag-printf ko kay kinahanglan pa na ako ni i-type ni si Google Developers Club. Pero pwede na ako siya tawagon sa iyang pangalan nga str through a format specifier of %s. Okay, that's how variables would work, no? So, return to 0. So, nga na lang kadali. So, printf lang gyapon para na ay mo result, na para na mo gawas. So, yeah. So, since we are done with the variables and data types, we will make use of this in order for us to, easily call what the input or what the user will input to our program. So, we will gonna create an average, a calculator na maka-find out siya average, no? Sa nimo or sa mga subjects. So, since this will be the code. So, here it is. No, gagamit kog float, it is because mabasa niya ang mga numbers, no? Kay float biya, pwede po ko magamit og integer, pwede po ko magamit og double, no? Anything, basta kay gisupport siya adtong data types, no? Gisupport siya sa data types nga gabasa ra niya pog numbers, okay? So here I will let the user ko, so walay value, no? Gabutang ko og A, B, C, and the average, okay? So ingana lang, wala na ko siya gibot nga value because I wanted the user nga sila may mag-input sa ila ang grade. So I used printf function para magawas ni si enter first grade, and then napo ni si /n, okay? So I scan f, so i-scan nako ni si %f, which is si float, no? Para basahon niya si float kung unsa ang gi-input sa user, and I call the variable and a, no? Kay wala pa may value si a unless na lang if naanay value, okay? So, yeah, the same process, pero gibilang na ako siya in C. Para pod, kay if ever nga mag-A ko tanan ani, same ra gyapon ang basahon niya, no? Nga kadong first nga gi-input ni user. So, yeah, C and B. Oh my god. C and B. Okay. So, A, B, C. So, tulo ka buok ang i-input. So, pwede ko pud ka maglahi og mga variables as long as as long as same gihapon sa imo ang scan, sa imong pag-scan, okay? So on the other hand, naa si average. So gibasa niya si average, no? Tara si average. So meaning daw kuno si average is equals to A plus B plus C divided by 3. So mo ni siya nga i-add, that's how you get the average naman, di ba? So i-plus nimo tapos i-divide nimo kung pila ka grado. So ang atong gipangayo diri kay tulo ra ka grado, and i-divide nato siya sa 3. So yeah, kani siya guys, dili ni siya marong because computer na ang gakon ato sa bali, automatic na siya ang iya result, unless na lang kung marong kag program mali gid ang result, okay? So yeah, printf your average is, so we will expect no nga ang manggawas later will be kaning enter your first grade, enter your second grade, enter your third grade, because giprint man nato sila, and of course your average. So I use that 2f para duha lang siya, at least 2 decimal point ang naa. So yeah, we will run now. So my first grade kuno high sa programming is 87. Ako ang grado sa history will be 79, and akong grado sa what else, purposive communication is 85. So pag enter din nimo, so when you will click enter, magawa sa din si average. So my average is 83.67. So it will never be wrong because automatic na gina siya sa computer, no? And yeah, you average. You average, so your dapat na siya. Your average is 83.67. So that is why duha siya ka decimal point kay duha man ang akong gibutang. So if ever nga walaon ako ni siya, no? And I will close the terminal. 87, 79, and okay, 97, 79, and 89. So, yeah, gisupport siya og at least 6, no? 6 ka, because I use the float, not the double. Okay? So that's it. That's very that's a simple way to create a calculator, no, sa C programming. So bahala na si computer kung siya na may mag-solve aning operation, no, kaning a plus b divided by 3, no. All you have to do is to write the program correctly para correct pod ang pagbasa ni computer o ni program, no, para kuan pod sakto ang pagka-compile. So next is the arrays, no. This is the last topic, no, subtopic, the arrays. Arrays are variable that contains multiple values and navigated using index. So data type, array name, array size. So mao ni siya ang example sa iyang syntax. So mao ni siyang syntax niya, data type, array name, array size. While yang example kung i-kunin mo siya sa syntax is float, mark, 5, something like that. So si float is again the variable, the data type, and the array name is mark, and the size is 5. So it's more like if si data types is isa ra imong mabutang, si array is pwede siya maka-contain multiple values, no? And navigated using an index. So isa ra siya imong tawgon pero daghan siya sulod. Ingana si array. So okay, this is an example of an array, no? Kaganina gagamit ko og ABC karon kay 3, no, 3. So pila kaya ang sulod aning grade 3? So tulo ba or upat? Okay? So in reading an array, magsugod jud siya always sa 0, not sa 1. So meaning upat ka buok ang sulod sa integer nga grade. Okay? So gagamit kog integer karon in order for us, no, to use naman po kay sa float. Okay? So again, integer composes of just only a positive and negative numbers. Okay, so that is integer. No? So in reading an array, so meaning natay grade 0, naapod ay no, naapod ay grade 1. Okay. So yeah, ingana lang siya guys, grade 2, and lastly is grade 3. So kay bali sa ato ang integer nga grade naatay upat ka buok sulod, no? So array will always start with 0, not with 1 but with 0. So here it is, no? Ang akong gamit nga kuan sa average is float kay para at least 2 decimal point. Okay? Kay para makita gyud nato kung pila yun ang decimal, no? So again, printf, enter first grade. So gi-call na ko si integer as D kay mo man yung format specifier. And yeah, gibasa na to si grade 0, grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3, no? Kay at least ang sulod sa atong array is upat raman ka buok. So 3 akong ibutang. Kay again, array will always start with 0. Okay, so this is the this is the formula. Grade 0 plus 1, grade 1 plus grade 2 and third grade divided by 4 kay upat man ka buok ang atuang grado. So printf your average is 2 percent, no, gi-call na ko si float, no, and si average din akong gi-call nga variable, no. So meaning ana guys, if wala gali value diri sa ibabaw, no, meaning ana wala you will let the user input, no, kay wala man siya value unless na if mabutang kag value daan, which is very hassle, no. Kay example mag-program ka og card or sa imong grado, no, daghan kay kag i-input kay i-change pa nimo ang program kay dili man siya customizable sa user. So kibali kani nga ni the advantage of making the user input its grades, or maybe to have a user input in a program, is dili na ka maghasol kundi they will be the one na dayon to input their grade, something like that. So yeah, so we will expect no nga i-compute niya ang upat na ko ka grado divided by 4. So ang manggawa sa dayon is kaning akong gipang print nga enter first grade, enter second grade, enter third grade, enter fourth grade. And lastly, akong average, which also has 2 decimal point kay %.2f, okay? So, build and run. So, and my first grade is, so nabagsak kuno ko 69 in programming, 71 in introduction to computing. I have a 55 grade in history and 67 grade in purposive communication. So, my average will be 65. So, unsa ang passing sa USTP? 70. So, wala ko kapasar and balik ang first year. Char. Bitaw, yeah, that's it. That's how you call an array. So, if ever malibog mo, no, the difference between array and paggamit lang sa data types is that si array is isa lang siya kabuok nga mo handle siya og daghan. So bali if ibutan na to siya sa sudlan, ay if i-compare na to siya sa sudlanan, mas daghan masudlan si array kumpara kang data type kang variables nga isa lang. Okay? So that's it. That's how you use arrays. No? And it will always start with 0. Okay. So that is our code, no? Again, final grade 3. So upat siya kabuok kay 0 man siya mag-start. And yeah. So that's it for today. I hope that you have learned, or you had learned something, no? Especially the basics of C, because I can say that, yeah, I mean, I can agree, no nga. If you will know C, it is easier for you na lang dayon to know the other languages, or to learn the other languages. And for the record, C programming is maupod ang pinakauna nila nga tun-an sa first year, no? And yeah, it will be your advantage. No, it will be your advantage sa karon nga na-introduce na mo sa C programming. So again, my name is Jaranilla, the IT lead of the Google Developers Student Club, saying that programming is not about memorizing, but rather it is about understanding.